You know, life has this way of pulling the rug from under you. One day you're building, creating, connecting with people, and the next, just like that, it's gone. When I got disbanded from social media, when my accounts just disappeared overnight, it felt like a gut punch. Everything I had built, all the people I connected with globally, the community I thought I had, years of effort, years of sweat and consistency, and in a moment, erased. I wouldn't pretend. It stung. I was angry, frustrated, even a bit lost because when you put your heart into something, it feels like they didn't just take away an account, they took away a piece of you. And because it was Facebook and because Facebook is Meta, then I lost everything in Instagram, my two Instagram account, I lost everything on WhatsApp, you know. But then I remembered, life has always worked like this with me. Every so often, it strips away something, and at first it feels cruel, but later I realized it was giving me something greater. When I walked away from the police service, after almost 20 years of service and more than 10 years to go, people thought I was crazy. They said, Gilman, you good. You have security. Just write it out. Collect the pension. But deep down, I knew if I stayed, I'd lose my soul. And that's the truth most people don't want to face. Sometimes holding on to what's secure is actually the real loss. Leaving felt like death at the time, but in hindsight, it was a resurrection. I gained back my voice, my freedom, my chance to live out what I always truly was called to do. It's the same when I think back to when I went to skydive. Walking to that plane, strapping in, climbing higher and higher in the skies. My stomach in knots. Fear had me by the truth. And when the instructor told me I had to jump first because I was trying not to jump first, I wanted to jump maybe second or third or something. He told me I was the heaviest man and I had to jump first. I wanted to argue, to beg, to say, nah, let me go last. But no, I was first out the door. And the second we left though, that fear dissolved into freedom. What looked like me losing control was actually me gaining wings. And isn't that the story of life itself? The Bhagavad Gita says you have a right to action, but not to the fruits of our action. The fruits aren't ours to cling to. Sometimes they're taken, sometimes they rot, sometimes they multiply, but the action, the calling, the purpose, that's yours. And when I lost my social media, I realized I had been clinging to fruit. I've been clinging to likes, to shares, numbers. Those weren't the essence. The work was the essence. The Rumi says, the wound is the place where the light enters you. I can feel that truth. The wound of being silenced. The wound of being shut out. That became the place where clarity entered. My voice became sharper. My work became more honest. The people who stayed for the message, not for the algorithms. And this is universal. Steve Jobs got fired from Apple. That's the company he founded. That loss could have destroyed him, but it became the soil. This was the soil from which Pixar and Next were birthed. He came back to Apple later and reshaped the world. Ordinary people live this too. Someone loses a job and ends up starting a business that they were scared to begin with in the first place. Someone loses a relationship and discovers their own strength and self-worth. Loss clears the clutter. Loss forces focus. Loss brings you face to face with yourself. Even in the old text, this wisdom repeats. Jesus said, whoever loses his life will find it. The mystics called it Fana, the solution of the false so the true can arise. Inanna, the goddess, had to descend and strip herself of every crown and robe at the 7 gates before she could return in full power. And every tradition is telling us the same thing. What looks like death is preparation for rebirth. So I don't see my social media ban as the end anymore. I see it as a pruning. A tree gets cut back and at first it looks barren, empty, but that pruning is what makes the next season's fruit abundant. I lost numbers, but I gained alignment. I lost a platform I truly didn't own, but I gained the reminder to build on my own foundations that I do own, my own website, my podcast, my real community. I lost the illusion of certainty, but I gained the kind of faith that makes you dangerous, the kind that doesn't depend on applause. And maybe that's the word I want to leave here with today. Don't be so afraid of losing, because sometimes loss is life's most radical form of honesty. It strips us down, yes, but it strips us down to what's real. And when you've got what's real, you can rebuild anything. For me, I don't even call it loss anymore. I call it release. And everything I release, sooner or later comes back. Not always in the same form, but always in the form it was meant to take. So yeah, what I thought was the worst thing that could happen turned out to be the very thing I need. Because loss is sometimes the greatest gain.